Hey everyone, before we kick this episode off, I urge everyone listening to like and subscribe to our podcast, wherever you may get your podcast from. So if you listen to us on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating, or also subscribe to us on Spotify. And I urge all of our listeners to head to our website, and you can get more than just our podcast from there. We have news stories all the time there. We have feature articles there. So head to tnpmedia.au. That's tnpmedia.au. All right, without further ado, we'll get stuck into the podcast.
Talk and Power, your motorsport and motoring radio show. Now on 88.5 FM, The Valley Comes Alive. And podcasting across iTunes and talkandpower.com.au.
Welcome back to Talk and Power, episode 228. My name's Michelle Morrison, and joining me is Nick DeCimbre and Simon Gonzo Travellini. How are we, boys?
We're back.
We are back.
We're back. It's been a long break.
It's been a long break. It was that 4 weeks, or?
I think it was more.
Yeah, it was more.
But you guys did the Herne Hill.
Sunset at Herne Hill.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
which was fabulous. Really nice time. But when we were last recording an episode, it was in 2025.
It was.
1st of December too, I think, from memory.
I didn't even get to do my usual joke of see you next year.
So tell us what's been happening, Simon.
We went down to Bustleton
Nice.
for a few days, and the kids got to have their first crack at fishing.
Yeah. Are they
Which-
fans? Was the patience there?
No, we caught pretty quick. It's they're only small fish, but usually around there, they're always biting.
Yeah,
they're always
good.
hungry.
That's nice.
Did you get up to much?
Yeah, it's been busy. It's been, since we last recorded it, with finishing up at the end of the school year and Christmas celebrations and everything. Mine actually are extending on. I've still got something on this weekend for it. But instead of jamming it all into the one day with FIFO family members, it tends to span out. FIFO family members and separations, it ends up spanning out across a few weeks. So catching up with my family and my dad on the weekend, which will be nice. But yeah, my family, we went down to Donnybrook over New Year's, as we usually do, at my friend's farm that has all the motorbike tracks.
That's right.
Yeah. So we had a great time. Just a short trip this time. And then we've had Luna's birthday on just the weekend gone. So she is 7. And it's just crazy how quickly the time has really passed.
I saw Trent got himself onto the, what do you call that ride?
Yeah, the chain swings or the chair.
Oh,
The swings on the chain. So last time we actually went on that ride was at the Easter carnival, and he had to make a stop to the bushes afterwards because he wasn't feeling so well.
Is it the really, really big one?
Yeah, it's the full size one, and but the girls had been on it a few times before, but I'd been on it with both girls, but there'll be single seats and then double seats. And once on the smaller version, Luna had sat by herself at a time where Trent didn't come with us to a school holiday event. And so then I would be on the double swing with Cleo. But this time we've all lined up, the 4 of us, with intentions of Trent going with Cleo and I'm sitting with Luna. And then the guys closed off the gate, and then he goes, he's looking for doubles, and he's going, okay, you're a double, yep, you can go. So quickly we get pulled past other single riders in the line, and everyone else is there waiting, and the girls run off together and sit in the chair. So Trent's like, what am I here for? This is a stitch up. It's the only reason I was lining up was to sit with the girls so they didn't have to be on it by themselves. And so, I had the camera out and I was laughing the whole time, and Trent was not happy, not impressed.
Isn't it funny? Blown altered, no problems. But
he hates rides.
Right, he doesn't like it.
He hates
I'm
them.
not a fan either.
He gets motion sickness.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, he gets motion sickness and the teacups, and that's not his jam either. So
I'll be honest with you, I was there the week before. We went
Oh, yeah?
we went there the week before just for a look. We were in the city and stumbled across there. We went on the bumper cars, actually.
Yeah.
That was the limit of my exploration of that. Didn't go on that ride, so don't feel so bad, Trent.
It was a really cool event. So it was a free event, and then you could either pay for the rides, like per ride. Otherwise, between 5 and 7, you could get unlimited rides for $22.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Or then from 6 until 9:30, it was $29. And so, like, really good value for money. We were trying to decide maybe to take Luna to Adventure World for her birthday, but, you know, that's quite costly. And so, yeah, great day at the fun fair and with fireworks at the end. So.
It's a lot better value than roll racing is now. They've jacked
Did you
the price.
go on the weekend?
Oh, no, you were selling...
So I got there. Only Nicholas... It was just Nicholas and I. And we were going to watch Travis and, you know, Rick and Roger and everyone race. And I handed over the $20 like I had every other time I'd gone. And the guy goes... no, it's $25 per person. I said, no, it's $20 per car. That's what we've always paid. And he goes, no, it's $25 per person. So I leant over, grabbed the $20, and I said, move. And he said, what? I said, move, or else I'm going to run you over. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I'm not paying $25. It's $50, right? Even though my kid's, you know, 7 years old.
Yeah.
It's going to be $50. I'm going to spend another $50 on food to watch 2 hours racing. Oh, please. You know, it went from being really good value to being terrible value.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago that you were telling us
No, I know.
about the price
Yeah.
of being by the car.
It was
to change it
$20
mid-season.
$20 per car last year. Which
Did
is,
you
know,
double check? Was it just the
2020.
was it just
Well,
the
this
guy
is
at
the
the
thing.
gate trying to scam you?
No, because the old guy came over and said, what's the problem? And I said, the problem is you put the prices up. Get out of my way. The Rick came today and he said, why didn't you come? And I told him, he goes, oh, are you sure? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, you should have, you know, contacted the organiser. I said, no, you guys were racing. Well, we got there late because I had to go to Mandurah to have a look at a car. I said, I wasn't going to break anyone's balls. He goes, well, you know, you might want to just check that. And I said, mate, I'm not going again if that's how much it is. Because, you know, he goes, oh, it's still cheaper than the drags. I said, yeah, but the drags, you can get there at like, you know, 8:30 or 7. Yeah, it's
12-hour
all
day if you
day
wanted to.
there.
Yeah.
You can walk around the pits and talk to everyone. You've got plenty of time during the lunch break to really mingle. There's a million places you can sit. You've got an incredible view of the track. You know what I mean? Roll racing, the view from the pit side is, you know, pretty bad. And then from the other side, you really got to be hanging over that wall. It's still kind of, you're a long way away from the action. I mean, down to drags on the tower side, I mean, you're right there. You know what I mean? You can pretty much touch the cars. So, yeah.
Oh, that's such a shame because last time you were speaking of it,
I
you
know,
know, it
we
was
were
in such
spruiking.
positivity.
I know. But it is going to get... I have a bunch of customers that have either sold their cars or are in the process of selling them because they don't see the track reopening in a hurry and they've just gone, I'm going roll racing.
Yeah.
So we're doing combos at the moment for roll racing.
Yeah, right.
So speaking of which, now that we're on the subject, so this is, I'm not going to tell you which department or minister it came from, and I'll tell you why. Because not many people know this, but Nicole used to work for the education department.
Okay.
So she came out of business school and went straight to work there. And when we were going through this, she said, you know that some kid, some teenager would have written that. I said, what do you mean? She goes, that's what I used to do. So I was 17 and I was writing these letters that were signed off as the minister. Yeah. I said, really?
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, anyway. And she said, you know, now they've got the added bonus of chat GPT.
Yeah, I was going to say, you sure it's not just putting it in as a prompt?
All right, so this is quite long, so I'll try and keep it short. So, while current official government statements as of 2026 affirm a long-term future for the Perth Motorplex, historical planning documents from the mid to late 2000s do contain references to the site being utilised for freight and container logistics in long-term port scenarios. Historical planning 2006, because I cited the structure plan in the letter that I sent, right? Historical planning 2006 and 2008. Now, I've been rabbiting on about this ever since we've done the podcast, that, you know, The structure plan, I saw it with my own two eyes. It showed the Kwinana Motorplex's container and truck parking. Okay. During the period of 2006 to 2008, the West Australian Planning Commission and other agencies conducted several studies evaluating the future of container trade at the Kwinana area. Intermediate terminal studies reports released late 2008 evaluated sites for a Kwinana Coburn intermodal terminal container transfer facility with a 30-year time frame. Latitude 32, Hope Valley, the Hope Valley Wattle-Up redevelopment project, now Latitude 32, master plan endorsed in 2005 and active through 2008, designated land for transport-related industry and container parks, right? Motorplex designation. While the Motorplex was established as a premier facility, some long-term strategic maps for the Outer Harbour Port development, precursor to the current Westport project, identified the general area, including parts of the Motorplex site, as potential off-dock container storage and truck parking zones to support future port throughout. To support future port. Throughput, sorry. Current 2026 status. So first of all, just before I go on with this, I'd like to say that everyone that said, you're crazy, right? There it is in writing.
This is a government website that you're on?
This is an email that I have copied and pasted into my phone because I'm trying to be high-tech in
So
notes.
you're sending this email?
No. This is the reply.
Oh, right.
I have taken the section and
From the government.
from the government,
From the minister.
from the minister
That
who-
you don't
that
want
I'm not going to support. That's correct. Yes,
But you can't tell us who the minister
I'm not
is.
going to tell you who the minister is. No.
Will you tell us?
Well,
Sophie?
no. Well, let's
Sorry to interrupt. but
Minister Muppet, because for those of you that don't know what a Muppet is, there used to be a show. What was his name? Jim Henson.
Yes.
Yeah, it was his show. And they were puppets with a hand up there. Anyway, current 2026 status. Despite these historical designations, the current state government has moved to preserve the site for motorsport. And these are dot points. Long-term investment. The $4.97 million continuous concrete resurfacing project awarded in late 2025 is intended to secure the track for the next 25 years. Westport integration. The preferred Westport design, confirmed in 2024 and 2025, concentrates port infrastructure between Barter Road and Mason Road. Current 2026 plans focus on Anketel Road and Thomas Road as the primary freight corridors, allowing the Motorplex to remain as a distinct entertainment precinct alongside the industrial development. Funny that the Motorplex is in between Anketel Road and Thomas Road. Anyway, claims regarding the deliberate awarding of contracts to facilitate a later cancellation or a permanent transition to truck parking are not reflected in currently available public records or official 2026 project timelines. That is it. That is the whole lot. Why would they even mention that last bit?
Yeah. I was wondering whether that was in response to you questioning whether.
Did you?
You saying that I led the witness, Your Honour?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
are they responding to a?
Yeah, they're responding to your question.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what was going on with the track.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because not many of us have taken the time to do that.
Well, we all need to do that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, I agree.
This is a safe and effective upgrade to the track.
Well,
I asked here in the notes, Motorplex update, Michelle and Simon.
I was just thinking whether we actually spoke about the contract being awarded on our, whether we had a chance to speak of that.
Yes, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, so that's the latest update from the Motorplex. You guys were down there for high limit. The surface is still exactly the same as it was 2 years ago.
No working as of yet.
Well, Simon, thank you.
All the work is on paper, let's hope, so far.
We'll talk about High Limit in a minute, I guess. But yeah, that was an awesome night.
Yep.
But Nick, you need to tell us about your holiday period.
Oh, my holiday
yes.
period
What you've
was
been up
just...
to. Your 4 weeks.
We got
No, my 4
sidetracked.
weeks, I worked, actually. I worked through most of it, and we just did a few days off.
I jumped the gun there a bit, didn't I?
For Christmas.
Straight into it. He's itching. It's been 4 weeks. He's ready to go.
He was onto it. No, I didn't do much. I just worked through. So no, it was good. It was nice. I had Christmas Day off, Boxing Day.
Few extended weekends there with
Yeah,
the,
it was. It worked out well. But delivered
If you had
a
to work.
tractor on New Year's Eve. It's the first time.
Did you put a bow on it? Was there
No, I did one
fireworks?
for Christmas. Delivered a tractor just before Christmas with a bow on it. But no, this one it was on New Year's. It's the first time I've worked on New Year's Eve. I don't ever remember working on New Year's Eve.
There was an ANDRA event at Portland too.
yes.
Pretty
yes,
sure
on
the
this-
McClure's won.
I do have the list of the winners for that event.
You do?
Yeah. Should we go into it now?
Pretty sure the McClure's won Outlaws and run it up in comp.
Yes.
Casey won, and
So this was for the ANDRA South Coast 660 in Portland. Graham Spencer took the win in Supergas. Taylor Horton in Junior Dragster. Riley Kilvington in Junior Drag Bike.
He's gone well, isn't
Matt Jones, absolutely. Matt Jones in Modified Bike. Lisa Garbellini in Super Street, making the trip across. Alex Karodis in Super Sedan. Kenny Stewart in Modified. Casey McClure in Supercharged Outlaws. Tommy Turek in Top Sportsman. Cheryl Miss V-Rod Bados in Competition Bike. And Craig Geddes in Super Comp.
yeah,
They are our winners.
Connor was runner-up, I think,
Yes.
in Super Comp.
Yes.
So there you go. Two
That's awesome.
WA
And top
winners,
qualified, I
or three
believe, for
WA
Connor.
winners, yeah?
Yep.
3 WA
Riley.
and one runner-up.
Riley, Lisa, Casey, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome work there.
Fantastic. Way to kick off 2026.
So the sport still does exist, but just not as we know it.
Still kicking on.
It's not here in
and
Western
Just not
Australia.
here in WA, yeah.
Not where we want it to be.
Well, not on the track anyway. I'm sure it's going on somewhere else.
And coming up next weekend, we've actually got, I don't know, what do we call this? It's not a double header, but it's across 2 states, which doesn't happen often. We have ANDRA, who added the Masters event to
This is the
Sydney. 24?
Yeah, there's a lot of rumours going on around about that event. Have you heard
Okay.
anything?
We were heavily contemplating going, of course, with the car being in Sydney. It was only added to the calendar mid-December, but it's been scheduled for the same weekend as in the first NDRC round, which is for top alcohol, but for sportsmen as well. And I said to Trent, it will be really interesting to see, because there's a lot of sportsman races that have already committed to the ANDRA Championship, and then to sacrifice the NDRC round to then
So
compete
that
for Sydney.
the other round is at Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NDRC round's at Queensland.
So I've heard 2 different stories from not 1 or 2 races, from groups of races in Sydney. These are customers that we have
Mm-hmm.
in Sydney. One group is saying it's going to get cancelled because of the rain.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I mean,
Another group is saying it's going to get cancelled because they haven't got the entries. So I don't.
they did say that they've had over beginning of the year they had over 100 entries already through. Entries don't close until today. Last ones to get in.
Was the other event already scheduled when these
Yes, the
people entered?
NDRC
Okay.
event in Willowbank was already scheduled, because that was announced with their calendar release. And then because Sydney is now dual sanctioned with
Yep.
IHRA and ANDRA, this has been added to the ANDRA calendar.
So this event is being run by Sydney or by a third party?
It's added into their ANDRA ANDRA regional championship.
Do you think they'll get a crowd with no top fuel?
It's going to be interesting, and that was one of the things that I was very up in the air of with our contemplation about going. And I was saying to Trent, it will be interesting to see the competition and how it will get split. A lot of the East Coast races, and I follow my modified class, seeing how much they travel down for Portland, for Adelaide, and this is between Queensland and Sydney. It's 8 hours or so to drive. So I was saying it'll be really interesting to see when they've already committed their time and efforts to ANDRA, but then when ANDRA's marketing and I just feel like it's such a big mistake. I've got no idea why they've done it, but how ANDRA now call their championship series a regional championship. ANDRA doesn't have a national championship. They used to call it national.
Yeah.
Why are they now calling it regional? They don't have a regional and a national. They've just, lowered the...
So I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah.
Do you think the term regional diminishes?
Absolutely. Right now, I'm very fortunate to say that I'm a national champion.
Oh, I
If
see
I
what
then
you're saying.
have on
yeah,
my
yeah.
resume applying for sponsors, I'm a national championship champion in 2015, and in this year I'm a regional.
Do you
champion.
think the word
It's-
regional indicates that to me, it tells me it's a country or a rural sort of
Yeah. If we say regional
championship.
football or national football, it seems like the lesser than.
Yeah, it's not the right terminology.
I don't know why they would have stepped back from that when they had.
Because we have
national.
regional championship races at the Motorplex, and I know Rockingham is pretty far from Perth, but it's not. Yeah, regional's not the right terminology. I agree.
I think
In
at
the
the end of the
sticks.
day, our tracks have always been in the same spots they were, and they were in the same spots they were when
Yeah,
that
we
was
used to
national.
call it a
so-
state round before.
Yeah, but no,
National round and a state
I agree
round.
because when they first brought out this regional, it's never sat well with me either because it I feel bad saying this. It does. You're implying that it's a country or a rural sort of.
Well, it is Perth.
But especially when a lot of these tracks, they don't have, even for Victoria now, they've only got one active track. So it's not like there's your capital city track and then your regional track. There's basically one track per state for majority of them. Maybe for Mackay you could sneak that in there as being more regional. But
Have they got a list of entries? Like entrants?
I did get an email from ANDRA, which
It's not on a
have a
website
look.
or anything, though, is it?
I did get one just
not
recently.
on the Andrew website. Doubt it.
It might have a...
Western Sydney maybe. If they're putting the event on, no, not like the Motorplex.
Oh, I mean, for Sydney, for the Aeroflow All Stars event, they only got the entry list out 2 days beforehand.
Yeah.
With more than 130 entries already received. Don't miss out. Entries close midnight.
That's a lot of entries. The reason I'm asking if the list is on, because I'd be curious to see whether the people that I spoke to have entered. Yeah.
I went to type in Wizard. It's not called that anymore, is it? Sydney Dragway. It will be interesting. It will be interesting to see. They've got a lot of prize money up for grabs for the Pro Mod and Door Slammer classes. That's going to be their draw card. It'll be really interesting to see how they market and promote. I spoke a lot about my experiences racing in Sydney at the end of last year and how they had a huge crowd for the Top Fuel and Funny Car Championship with the Aeroflow All Stars, but then with a very dismal crowd for their state round.
Yeah.
And so it will be interesting whether the crowds come out for
Pro Mod.
Group 1 in general, or whether they're just saving themselves for the Top Fuel and Funny Cars, which for next season in the NDRC calendar, there's only 2 events. That is a long time in between drinks for race fans.
Yeah, but it costs that much that... you know what I mean?
You know what? It costs that much. We're in Perth as well, and we still have the same spectators that come every round.
I know, but we do get the Top Fuel round where it's, capacity.
But on our quiet nights, Sydney would kill for that.
Yeah.
For our quiet nights on our state rounds, not nationals, no big draw cards, our SummerSlam series, Sydney would They would just absolutely
do
love
you
that.
think, like, this is the problem that I've always had? If you don't... So, we live in an era now. So, when Nick and I started in this, you really would almost consider not... You would go, but you would consider not going to see the Nitro Funny Cars because it was going to be like... You can understand why they were called floppers, because every event was a flop. Because by the end of the night,
Yeah.
you were lucky if there was still one running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas now, you go down there and there's like 5 or 6 cars,
they're
and they're
alive.
side by side, and they're going 300 plus, like 500 plus kilometres an hour. It's it's an incredible spectacle. Really like top level. I've been harsh on them before, but the reality is, when you look at the numbers, we're not really that far away from where they are in the US. You know what I mean? We're only a few hundredths of a second. So the spectacle is incredible. So I can justify paying the top dollar to go in there and watch that event. Do you think that maybe for the state rounds that we should probably bring that entry down a little bit, or maybe
it is already down
it is
a little
cheaper?
bit. Yeah,
maybe free for kids.
Oh
maybe.
yeah, I definitely think the free for kids draw card is always a big win.
Because I remember one of the biggest meeting I ever raced at was one of those free for kids, and it was packed.
Yeah.
And then there was no top fuel or anything. It was just a regular, the grand final or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they often have the jet car events as a free kids, or maybe it's like the first event and the last event that seems to align with that.
I think it works.
But it always works. And I always think as well, about seeing the other avenues on which the money's coming in. You don't need to just rely on tickets through the door. You're getting money inside with purchases as well. And I think you need to weigh up of okay, X amount of people are going to be paying this higher price, but lower the price down, and you're going to be getting more people in through the gate.
Absolutely.
I think Sydney needs to. At the moment, they're still doing the events with no crowd, next to no crowd.
They need a nightclub in there at Sydney. It'll work there.
I think that they should just market to saying free spectator entry.
Yeah.
They're not relying on it at the moment anyway. They're having their events. I think they should dedicate a whole season. They're running their events anyway, so it's not like they're relying on that money. So for this season, we're going to work on just building our spectators and building our fan base.
You have to understand, but this is the crucial thing that we're missing here is we're talking about a track that's right in the heartland of Australia's biggest sport, and it's not AFL, it's NRL, and to overcome this, that's why I say they should be trying to get as many events as they can away this time of the year. It's
I
the hot spot.
I don't think that's Australia's biggest. I think
But
right
Sydney's-
now,
TV ratings it is.
2026, right now. Yeah, but no one watches TV anymore. Minecraft would be Australia's
Yeah.
100%.
You're right. You're 100% right.
But
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sydney's New South Wales Championship, that actually runs throughout the calendar year. So they start in January and they run, it's like the first weekend or, once a month until the end of the year. They have like July off, so there ends up being like a 2-month break over then, but they have like one event every 4 weeks for the whole year. So there's no like 6-month season that's then going to be the same as the NRL. So
Yeah, but it's coinciding right in the middle of their season.
But they break at some point.
I don't think it's that, honestly, because having hung around there and crewed for Dom and gone to a few races and seen the way they do things, and this is going to sound like a joke, but remember Jeff Crispy, all right? So I talk to Crispy every once in a while because
Fiona's in an altered now. I thought I'd just put that in.
Yes,
just come to the better
he's
side.
a legend. That guy is just such a top bloke. Anyway, we have discussions about this and the problem with Sydney. And the biggest problem with Sydney is that the guys that are racing, they really only want to get their time card. You know what I mean? They get the time card and that's it, they're out of there. And he said to me, he goes, when I was there, like bracket marshalling.
Yeah.
He goes, I'd be going around going, where is everyone? Where have they gone? And then you find them as they're loading the car. What are you doing? You guys are, you still in or what, Oh, no, we're going out clubbing, bro. Like, we're out of here. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you read Lisa's post
No.
from the weekend.
No.
She didn't say that in so many words, but it felt like to Paul and Lisa that a lot of people had left straight after the event that they went to, and there was no social aspect after the event. And I think a lot of that, I mean, that was maybe not.
This
tiny.
was at Portland.
Yeah.
That's weird because when we were at Portland, but admittedly this was the Mal Bully era, it felt like you were in a family.
Yeah.
You're going to visit your relatives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the track staff, they were like, oh, stay. You're from Sydney, Perth, wherever. You know what I mean? But maybe it's changed.
I mean, I
Who
haven't been
knows?
to Portland, but my mind goes to, like, where are people staying? Where are they? This was just after New Year's. Maybe they already had a big couple of weeks.
You have to
and they're ready
understand.
to go.
Maybe a lot of them were legging it back to Sydney, perhaps, because you can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not going to leg it back to Perth.
No.
But you could leg it back to Sydney, could leg it back to Melbourne.
The Airbnbs over there, oh my God, they are incredible.
That's
Incredible.
I just think our expectation on races to maybe, socialise and stay there, and I agree with them. It's sad. It is
I don't
sad.
think it happens in Perth as much as it used to either, though.
Yeah.
No, but it's...
Like,
Are we
I've
losing-
spoken about it.
We used to see each other at Westside, right? We used to talk crap and drink and have the raffles and, there was a great atmosphere. And the other thing at Westside is you could walk up to Gary. I mean, how many times
this
did we
is
see
still happening,
it?
though, with Wadra.
Yeah,
but
but is Gavin there?
You don't have a Gary
No,
there.
a lot of the time, though, Ray is.
Yeah, but it's not the same. I can tell you multiple times that someone would have a few, right, and they'd go up to Gary and they'd say, and get stuck into him, and he was cool as. I mean, he was a big guy anyway.
Yeah.
But he would be like, all right, well, Peter, come out. Listen, this, whatever it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would get, so you don't have that tension. You're not going down to the track saying, well, they always get the parking spot because they're mates with Ray, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sort of stuff would get resolved. And it's, I think that a little bit of lubricity in there with the discussion, I think it helps that. Now, things are different now because of social media, right? And back in those days, you had to have the balls to stand in front of the guy and say to him, this is what I think, right? Now, you can't even do that down at the track. You can't, even if you wanted to, you can't. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of avoiding. And that brings resentment with it. And it's like if you're in a bad relationship. You sort of get to that point where you don't even want to, like, even the sound of them chewing their food annoys you. You know what I mean?
I don't know, guys. Like, I think of it in reference to, like, my personal situation. And, we've always spoken about how drag racing is very generational, and for me, I've been speaking to Renee Dobson a lot that, like, our girls, we're back racing now. We've got our 2 daughters. I've mentioned before that Renee's 2 girls are the same age as mine. They're born a month before my girls. And our girls, it's sometimes I get through the night and I'm like,
okay,
did I make that look easy? Because it's a juggle.
Outside of that, how many other people do you socialise down there with?
Oh, you're putting
your pause.
No. You were putting me on the spot there.
No,
and
but,
I think
you know what I'm saying.
Nick can have my side. I don't get much of a chance.
No, I know. But if you go back to the Ravenswood days, you could go to anyone's pit.
Yeah.
Right? And you could, and there was no stress. No one was crying about this or whinging about that.
Simon, do you not think that I'm a social person? Look, what I'm getting at is that drag racing is very generational, and there are a lot of young family races that are racing at the moment, and now that my girls are getting a bit older, I'm forward thinking for when we come back racing again. And I've been saying to Trent and saying to Renee that we'd like to stay the night, camp and stay the night after a race meet, wake up and have breakfast together and cook up barbecue for breakfast, instead of doing our stay until presentations, if we're so fortunate and lucky.
Happens
Load
pretty
up.
much every
Well, I mean, I really can't complain about it, can I? But we don't get home until 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
By the time we unload our trailer, because I've got to open, I don't even have a trailer, it's my father-in-law's, but, you know, we use Trent's ute.
Should we finish earlier?
Yes, I do also think that could help a lot with the crowd and spectators. I don't think it needs to be going until 10 o'clock every night. How we would condense the current format with majority of classes doing Chicago shootout into a smaller format, I have no idea. But I also know that there are events that I've had 5-hour breaks, 4-hour breaks in between. It is a huge day, but I'm just saying that the girls are getting to an age where we could eliminate that rush at the end of the day, and where we could park up and just relax after a race meet.
Yeah.
And have a bit of wind down time and enjoy our victories, or drink our sorrows away.
Well, you know what? You bring up a good point, because I didn't think about this until you said it. In the Ravenswood days, you would get knocked out, you'd go and load your car up, and you come back and,
Yeah.
you know, crack a tinny and watch the race. Like, can of Coke, obviously. There's no alcohol.
No, in the export.
But you know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot of the stress, because now you're down to, you know, like 10 teams that have got to pack up instead of everyone having to pack up. I actually never considered that.
From 9 o'clock, you're still in rounds.
Yeah.
Trying to see who's going to get the final.
Yeah, and that
spot.
would have a huge impact on the social side of it and getting along with each other, because more often than not, we'd be in someone else's pits, often taking parts off of our car to lend them, or helping them, you know, with their weather station. Or
That's it. If you're wanting to borrow a part off someone these days, you're almost relying on them braking to be able to help you out.
So that's the thing. So that whole social fabric, that cohesion, has been removed because we don't get the time to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I honestly, Michelle, I've never ever thought of it that way, but maybe that's it. Maybe this format is stressing everyone out so much because they have to stay there so late, then they have to pack up, and then you're probably thinking, well, they're rude because they're not at the trophy presentation, but they're tired and want to go home.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, we should probably get on with this, because there's
IHRA. Do you want to do IHRA or NHRA
I talk about Zach
first?
Brown. You know, I love pounding out on Zach Brown.
No, we're in a good
Well,
groove
we're in the
here
drag
with drag
racing
racing.
topic.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's keep
all
it going.
right. So, in the last 5 minutes, has IHRA bought any more tracks?
I just had a quick check. Yeah.
No,
not the
yet.
last 5 minutes.
The IHRA purchases Rockingham Speedway, and long-term visions for the Rock acquires Heartland Motorsport Park in Ohio.
They've also purchased Maple Grove Raceway and have acquired the F1 Powerboat Racing, one of the world's premium tunnel boat racing.
They've announced Lee Martin as president, marking a historic moment in motorsports leadership with the acquisition of the World Drag Racing Alliance, WADRA, funnily enough, and made a $10 million donation to a children's hospital. And the owner of the IHRA, which don't know if we've got his name,
Daryl Cattell,
who's buddies with Elon Musk and makes his money from building data centers. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He supplies to SpaceX.
He I have been told, has booked a jet, chartered a jet, and he's heading down under. I believe that he's going to go and visit all the tracks while he's down here. This is costing $1 million to put this on. I don't know if that was US. It It must be US because that would be like $1 billion Australian, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, he's going to be stopping into Perth and doing a full tour in his private jet with his entourage, and finishing up at the IHRA event at Willowbank.
At the NDRC's first round in the calendar for next weekend.
I believe that's what's going on.
Interesting.
And there is a rumour that he has purchased 3 747s and he's gutting them out to carry pro mod cars because his vision for the IHRA is an international pro mod series.
Well, that would align with the IHRA's announcement of their sanctioning for Hidden Valley with the intentions for the International Pro Mod 660
event, yes.
Ironman series.
I believe that he's had meetings with, I'm not sure if it was Qatar or one of the Arab Drag Racing League tracks. So it'd be interesting to see. You never know. He might buy the Motorplex.
Well,
That's
add it to the list.
always possible.
He's been buying a lot of tracks.
Big spender, yeah.
And this has caused the NHRA to move some events.
Yeah, well, they had to. Well, they're obviously not going to be racing. A lot of people thought that it was cool for them to race at IHRA owned tracks.
Did you hear Brian Lowe's?
Oh, man, he unloaded on those people, didn't he?
Oh, I'm behind on this.
Yeah, so he said, on what planet would that be?
I love Brian Lowe's. I think he's the best. But I didn't think it was fair to, because I'm with Wes Buck on this high tide lifts all boats.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't matter if it's a big boat or a small boat, everyone gets a lift. So I think he just flat out said it that why would they show the IHRA how to run an event? It's pretty much what he said. Am I paraphrasing or?
No, that's exactly what he said. So,
why not? Why not work together to make the sport better? Because I've got to be honest with you, the NHRA taking on the Street Outlaws things really kind of seems gimmicky to me.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
It's very gimmicky.
Yeah.
So what are they doing there? Are they going to not prep that lane, or is that how does it work?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You could do it at the 4 wide. Two unprepped. You may get the 2 outside lanes too, so they can't hit each other.
It makes me think, so are they going to be having a new TV program for the Street Outlaws then? Maybe NHRA going down that route with their mini-series that's coming out on Vice.
I'll tell you what, if that is what they're going to do, that's going to suck, because what they need out of all the motorsports on the planet, they need the same as Drive to Survive. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Because the characters that are in the NHRA and how highly strung some of them are and how laid back, like Clay Milligan.
Yeah.
Milligan versus Schumacher or even
Doug Coletta. Bob Tasker.
Bob Tasker.
Bob Tasker's a perfect example.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. We have our own, NHRA, has their own stars, their own characters. I don't think they need to lean on the Street Outlaws.
No.
It'll be interesting to see how many actually are featured on their series. Still have to check whether we can view it in Australia.
Oh, I just think that, the NHRA's got some really... And,
the
rivalries
ones that
between the pro stock teams.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't need
need
Murder Nova and Ryan
No.
Martin.
The ones they listed for their series, though, I feel as if are a bit too media trained. We might not get the entertainment that we know is there.
They're all media trained now.
Yeah, but some of them don't really care.
Yeah, they're all
Loose
media
lips
trained
and stuff,
now.
But I think...
Look at Ryan Martin. Come on, it's like watching an AFL footballer, you know what I mean?
Big time, eh? Yeah, he's textbook.
Except for, what's his name? The guy that's just in all the trouble now.
Street Outlaws.
Lockie Neal?
Oh, no, from the
he's
Lions.
Brisbane Lions.
He's in a lot of trouble, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's in more trouble than the early settlers, that guy.
That's a good one. I remember that one. Anyway,
So lots happening in the NHRA.
and the NHRA managed to top NASCAR without the Street Outlaws.
How cool is that? Now, a lot of people said because the NHRA followed an NFL game, you naturally get a heap of viewers that forget to turn the TV
They
off.
just go off and start cooking the barbecue.
Or
or they catch it. This is Joe. I forget his name now. WFO.
Costello.
Joe Costello always, like I used to listen to him religiously. He always used to talk about this, like when they would follow this, or on the schedule.
Yeah.
He was really on top of it. Maybe that's the case. Maybe people are just over NASCAR. Maybe the recent lawsuit and out of court settlement. You want my honest take on it? I think that the NASCAR numbers are dwindling because of two reasons, right? The franchise deal, number one, right, where all the teams are, that's the teams. Okay, it's not like the old days where you qualifying and blah, blah, blah. And Shane Van Gisbergen, number two.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the playoff situation. Those
playoffs
big
haven't
names that
helped.
were out early.
Yeah.
So
I just think that and the NHRA deal, I mean, that pro stock fight, people were talking. I mean, we're talking about it now. You know what I mean?
it was. I feel like it was like 6 months ago.
It's it's that sort of thing, and we've always had that. We've always had that in drag racing.
And that was just where like their fixed cameras are. If we had a team that was following them in and hearing them then talking in their trailers, or maybe one coming across to the other. Yeah,
I know.
the entertainment's there.
So John Force Racing, Austin Prock. Did anyone see that coming? Austin and his father.
It's
Jimmy
not just
and
Austin, it's
brother.
the whole Prock family.
Yeah, and Thomas as well. So Jimmy and Thomas, Austin's brother Thomas, and his dad Jimmy.
Now there's a
all
few
taken off.
rumours about where they're going, but has it been officially
confirmed.
announced?
It's
It has
official.
Has
confirmed.
it? No, I tried looking for it last night. They're still.
I thought it was official. As far as I know, they're going to Tascar.
That's the
that's
rumour that I've heard.
that's. I think that's a rumor.
Yeah, I
don't
haven't
think
I think it was
heard any-
official at PRI. No?
No, I don't believe so.
Not sure about that one.
Don't know.
Not
But
sure
that
about
is
that
that's
one.
where.
But I don't get, is Bob still going to be driving? Are they going to run a two-car team? Because the big problem is
I
getting
hope so.
trailers.
Yes. Have we spoken about
Yeah, we have.
spoken
We
about
have.
this? Because
Yep.
I remember you saying about the trailers. I was saying
2-year
surely
wait.
there'd be
Yeah.
some parked up there.
2-year wait.
We don't know. And Jordan Vandergriff then stepping in the seat, replacing
Great
Austin.
opportunity
Yeah.
For
for him.
John
But
Fast.
listen to that young man speak on the NHRA Insider podcast last week.
Yeah.
And what a great ambassador for the sport. Spoke really well, didn't he?
He
Yeah, well,
not
he's
just
been-
that,
not that Austin doesn't,
the
but-
digs that he had
Quick with
at
it.
Austin were good.
Yeah.
Really good.
But he'd been doing a bit of commentary work as well while
has,
being in and
yeah.
out of the car last season. Was he driving for Sean Reid?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was. How cool was it though that he was saying that he when he was licensing he was like hi I'm so and so, and they were like, yeah, okay, who's this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now they all know
right.
who he is.
Yeah. No, well done to him. He's a delightful young man.
I thought that he would be kind of a no name around.
I know his name.
Vandergriff. Bob Vandergriff.
I know his name. That's for sure.
And Alexa DeJoria is also joining the
Yes.
John Force in their Bandero Premium Tequila Funny Car. That's her father's
Yeah,
brand,
tequila. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who made his billions from hair products?
Paul Mitchell. Hair products. Yep, he is John Paul DeJoria, and he's also one of the seats on Shark Tank. And there's that viral video of him joining partnership with the man that makes like the teepees for the farmers to protect their crops, and his like farmers are the heart and soul of America. He's like, yeah, I think he's won a lot of fans over that. But yeah, he's one of the sharks on Shark Tank, and he's a very nice one.
He's got a very who's the guy that owns Virgin?
Richard Branson.
Richard,
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. So that will be very interesting to see how that all comes through. We've got also Erica Enders and Aaron Sandfield licensing in Top Fuel. We'll have to wait and see who's going to get the seat for that under Elite's new partnership.
They were stealing a team.
Stealing a team?
I believe that there was something along those lines said in one of the interviews. They had basically... Well, it's Vandergriff's team that they took, isn't it?
Well, Vandergriff driving for Sean Reid before he's speaking of like Bob Vandergriff. When's the last time he hasn't raced solely himself? For a long time.
But wasn't the son? Wasn't he putting together a deal before this came through, and they've poached that whole? I don't know. I heard some rumours that. Because you can buy a car, but you need a right head person, a left head person, a diver, a clutch person, a crew chief, and a multitude of other people.
Now I get mixed up with Richard Freeman and then Rick.
So Richard
Freeman's Elite.
Yeah.
So when he purchased Josh Hart's Top Fuel card, did that bring across the team as well?
Maybe he did.
Because when we think about it, Force already have their team.
Yes.
So maybe they've got their seat there.
We're not really going to...
Of course, Tony Stewart's coming across over, having some sort of partnership in there too.
That's what I mean. You need a lot of people.
Yeah.
There just isn't that many people.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to have to steal them from some... You can take a car chief and possibly, if they've been trained, or a co-crew chief, and then split them and put another person in. But
I saw that Johnny Lindbergh's up as a free agent now. Unless anything's happened in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, Paul Lee's...
Who's Paul Lee got?
Let go of Johnny Lindbergh.
Well, they were doing well.
Yeah, I thought so.
I thought they were going okay.
Too. Yeah.
For his first season.
I think they were doing a bit of IHRA and NHRA, I think, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there was a win in there. But I haven't seen... It wasn't in these major headlines that's come through for where Lindbergh's gone, but...
That'd be a good one to get.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's a guy that can do everything.
Yeah.
He can fix the chassis.
You know that he's also dating Maddie Gordon now? So she's going to be driving then Nitro Funny Car for Ron Capps.
Yes.
So
wow.
I don't know
Is she
who
full-time?
her team...
So...
They've announced now that the sponsorship partner is the Carlisle Tools that will be backing Maddie, but I don't think they've said whether it's going to be a full-time...
But Toyota's not part of it anymore, are they? It's still...
No, Toyota dropped out last season, and I think they dropped out for the series sponsor as well as all team sponsors.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because one of the big things Toyota did was supply a track specialist. They had an aerodynamics guy as well, but the track specialist was really critical to the performance of the cars because even though it's, most people, particularly circuit people, they look at it as 400 metres in a straight line. They actually sit down and work out a roadmap for the track, like this part of the track has got this going on and that going on. And I mean, you've seen it yourself with the rubber will lift or you'll get a ball patch or whatever. It helps them set the clutch and the timing on the fuel cars by having that guy there. Kurt Johnson, I don't know if it's the same Kurt Johnson that used to race Pro Stock, but he's one of the most well-known ones, and he helps them with the track preparation and so on. Not so much the NHRA.
Yeah.
He'll go down there as a consultant, a track specialist consultant for the teams, but some of the other tracks around America, the smaller ones, will hire someone like that to help them prep the track. Wes Buck talks about him all the time.
Well, you could see it just being essential with the different environments throughout America of where they're racing and through which seasons, they can get really polar weather conditions.
Absolutely. In a day.
Yeah.
In a day they can, some of the tracks from the hot to the cold.
Yeah.
And, cloud cover.
Yeah.
They'll change the tune-up just because of that. It makes that much of a difference.
Yeah. Yep.
But, there you go. Well, I wonder if he's going to go with her to the Caps team.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, it's, I don't know, mixing business with pleasure. It just
comes down to if the car smokes the tyres, he's on the couch.
Yeah. I mean, who am I to say don't mix business with pleasure? Like,
I know.
But it could have ended bad, but it didn't, and we are happily ever after. But no, I think it's just it's all been a bit on social media for Lindbergh and Maddie, and so we'll have to see.
He'll just go back to racing top alcohol.
Yep.
Well, that's always. There was on NHRA, amongst these headlines, there was like a mystery new team and driver, and it didn't say much. It just said, word is there's a new guy coming out in Top Fuel. It didn't say guy, but it said a new one. And then they said, to get everything organised before the start of the season, they're not quite sure how it will work, but
yeah, I
they
think
didn't really drop any
there's
hints.
another young guy that they've dropped. I'm trying to think of his name. He was licensing a while back, and he was trying to put something together.
Okay.
4
Who
races.
was he licensing in someone else's car?
I'd be lying.
Yeah.
Once again, I heard it in an interview with Brian Loans.
Yeah, right.
He's
Well, won't be too long.
No.
No.
Beginning of Feb?
Yep.
Yeah, is it still the Gators?
Oh yeah, no,
No,
I
it's
forget
not.
because I'm thinking Pomona used to be right at the beginning of Feb, but no, it must be Gainesville, which I think is like end of Feb, March.
I don't know, because they did it. COVID was the first reason, and then they did it to try and reduce the cost, so to keep them all travelling in one direction. But now it's a bit weird because the teams that are a bit down on the money have to skip rounds anyway, or not that they're a bit down, that they requested Pro Stock and Pro Stock Bike requested Pro Stock requested less rounds, but I think they've got a couple back now this season. Yeah,
I haven't seen the full calendar of
No, I haven't either. No.
and which events are hosting which classes.
It's going to be this is going to be a really interesting season because it's really they've mixed up the salad this time. You know what I mean? There's been that many people changing.
There's a lot changing. We've also got Buddy Hull. He's parted ways with Jim Dunn Racing after 2 seasons, so he's going to return under his own team ownership.
Yep.
So,
But did he sell his car or did he keep it?
I'm not sure.
I thought he sold it. Because that to start from scratch again, that's huge. Because it's not just the car, it's the engines in fuel, like they, usually have 5 engines, the blowers, then all the tools, all the specialist tools.
Yeah.
Then you need the truck, the trailer. It's huge.
And it's saying here as well that he's returning to the role of NHRA team owner and driver for the 2026 NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series under the Hull Racing banner. And so to return with such I feel like when this was first announced, it was... I got the impression that it was a bit of a shock. But
that he was leaving?
Yeah. And it really isn't much time if you don't have your own stuff sitting in storage, and you wonder to get that all happening and to even getting your funding to make sure you can do it all, committing to the NHRA when the IHRA is having such high money stakes and growing their series as well with lesser rounds.
So where's Dunn? What's going on with their deal? Have they got a driver?
Haven't heard yet for whether someone else will be stepping in.
Who's the guy? He drove for Richard Rawlings. He used to run Pro Stock and
Alex Laughlin.
Yeah, what's he doing now?
Alex Laughlin. So he was. No, I think there was a bit of talk like he wanted to license in
Top Fuel.
In Top Fuel.
Hasn't he licensed already?
Not
Yeah,
in Funny Car.
He hasn't done Top Fuel. I thought
there was one class that he hadn't done. So Alex Laughlin, he was sitting in for Buddy Hull when he had his
Correct.
accident.
Pro
or
stock
his-
bike.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it was. I remember them saying, I feel like it was an event before SEMA, and it was saying there's only one pro category that he hasn't obtained a license in.
It's got to be pro stock bike,
Yeah,
sure.
well, that's what I was thinking.
I
But
wonder what tyre shake's like on a pro stock bike. That must be horrible.
probably a different experience for you than for me.
What do you think?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
You can take that in a different way than what I meant it. It kind of just came out. But yes, terrible.
I just meant, like, what
Yeah,
is
you'd
it?
feel it. Like, right?
Anyway,
Oh, gosh.
we on to high limit yet? Or?
we can talk high limit.
Have you got any more on the NHRA?
Let's have a scan through here
Six
and
more
see
pages.
what else is worth. I mean, it's it's the time for all the news to come out, but it's also been a break
PRI.
since we spoke of. I do want to mention though, did you hear John Force when they actually had their announcement with Jordan Vandergriff coming in?
No.
It was nice. It was very real. Jack Beckman did all the facts and more serious promotional talking, and John just seemed to be up there as a bit of a friend to the fans, and you can see that he's still struggling with his injury and the impacts that that's had for him.
The fact that he can stand up.
Yeah. He said at one point, what are you? He said he called them the 3 J's for DeJoria, Josh, and Jordan. And then he was like, what's your name again? To Josh Hart. And it was, you'd kind of laugh along at it, and then you just wonder how much is really.
And how much is acting?
Well, I wouldn't think acting. I think just sometimes, it's like I'm certainly one that can say the wrong thing or get a bit lost in my words and even just speak what my mind's saying instead of, what I've thought about before.
He's like George Bush. He never really made a lot of sense when he was talking anyway.
Well, the takeaway from that for me is Jack Beckman. 2 years ago, he's sitting on the sidelines watching racing.
Well, he's back repairing elevators. He's
He
elevator
was.
repairman, and he got the call up.
He was in the van when he got the call.
Yeah, he's he was throwing a lifeline at arguably a time where he probably thought he was never going to make it back, and now he's a spokesman for John Force Racing.
Yeah.
So that tells you something about him, and it also tells you something about how good he is as well. For him to get back.
The one that there's two. Larry Dixon, I never understood why he just kind of vanished. And Corey Mack, he was another one.
Yeah.
I thought they were great. I was a huge Larry Dixon fan.
Even Spencer Massey as well has never really been able to get back.
Well, yeah, I mean, he'd been driving a little bit for Krista Baldwin last season. But I think there was a bit of different reasons why he stepped away to begin with, which probably...
Yeah, but Larry Dixon drove for Prudhomme, I mean that's the... And Corey Mack, he had McDonald's. I mean, he got McDonald's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the only thing you could top that with is Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think Jack Beckman, he's really... I just think he's perfect in that leadership
100%.
role, and he is speaking. He can speak with the fans, but then speaking with the other racers, and even when I met him, because he used to be one of the trainers or license assessors with Frank Hawley's, and it was just a quick, hey Jack, Michelle's doing her top alcohol licensing, and then just straight away the time that he gives you with this knowledge and wisdom, and I just think that he's the perfect fit for it, and especially now with John stepping back, I just think that having that leadership role for him, and now he's kind of got this younger younger team.
He has got, in my opinion, the perfect mix. You got Jack Beckman, the statesman, the older guy, the wise. He's got the young gun, right? And he's gonna try and chop that tree down every time he faces it, because he's got this rivalry where, I mean, he spoke about it with Brian Loams, where, you know, they kind of like, they're the procs, you know what I mean? They're like royalty, and even though he gets on with him, you know, they ribbed him because who are you? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So he's and Alexa, I mean, she's a great female representative for drag racing. So yeah, I think he's got a really, really good mix there. Josh Hart,
Yeah, well, just to balance it off a bit. Maybe we'll see more.
You've got to take the good with the bad.
Maybe
Someone's got to pay the bills.
Josh Hart and see a bit more of his character come out or in the John Force Racing team.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's enough drag racing for now. Should we get on to high limits?
2026.
For 2 months until...
Look, I was just going to just give a quick shout out. Went down to the High Limit International. I went for the final night this year. I just went the one night, the last night, and I must admit I was...
Who won, Nick?
Kyle Larson, absolutely.
So he put up the 110 grand and then took it home.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was getting pretty close at the end there for that final night, and Dane King shot his...
Oh, Dane drove so well.
Yeah.
Was a bit unlucky striking. I think it was Brad Mail from memory. He hit
Rico.
him. Oh yeah. I can't remember who he hit. Someone, and then that sent the bar into the tyre.
Yeah.
They managed to repair that and get back out there, but I think the damage was kind of done.
With James McFadden running out with the driller.
I know, they're drilling the holes in the extractors.
Holes in the extractors to just ease the pressure off.
Yeah, because James was out.
And I was just amazed because the extractors were on like the fence side, and I said to Trent, like, he came running out with the driller already in there. How did he know that he needed to do that? And once they replayed it, you could see how his car had hit Rico's. It was like, all right, you know, there was a bit of impact there, but the engine wasn't sounding good, and the smoke coming off it, that ended up being from the bar.
Yeah, the bar
rubbing on the tyre. And when they were getting them to line back up, get their formations for the last, what was it, like 3 laps or something?
Yes, 3 laps. It was 3 laps sprint.
Yeah, I thought, oh gosh, like that tyre, they have to start this race because I don't know how much is left in this tyre.
They left the tyre.
Yeah, because if you change tyre, you have to start at the back. Yeah.
So you left the tyre
But they
on
bent
there.
the bar out of the way?
Yeah. They bent it out.
Yeah.
But changing a tyre means starting at the back of the field, which 3 to go. And then I think Corey Day was in second for that race, and it was a bit... Kingshot was in third, Corey Day second, and then it was looking like, okay, Kingshot's in second and getting so close to the front, but then Rico... trying to think whether Rico got caught up with someone or whether he just...
Yeah, Rico was a back marker. It was it was a lap down.
But how did he tumble? I think because his engine went.
Yeah.
And
it was... Look...
there was the entertainment aspect of a lot happening for that last night. There was a lot happening there.
Fireworks were awesome. Fireworks were really good. And just the racing was just second to none. It really was. It was a great night. We got there at 4:30, and it was 4 of us that went. It was myself, my younger son, and then a good mate of mine, and his son came, and we couldn't sit together.
Really?
No,
not even on the far side.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Couldn't sit together.
Well, even on just where the wall is.
Like the grass, big
Yeah,
open
the grass.
field part.
We couldn't. No, it was so packed.
At 4:30 as well.
Wow, 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
anyway.
huge crowd. We went down for...
Did you say Boxing Day?
We went down for Boxing Day. Yep. Trent and I took the girls, and then Trent went, I think, on night 2 or 1 of High Limits. But even for Boxing Day itself, massive crowd. There was a few of the Americans still out for that, came out for that event. I think just testing the track, getting some track time.
Yeah. No, it was a... Yeah, and they announced, Gavin Micro announced that High Limit International will be back this year in 2026. Same dates, 28th, 29th to the 30th of December. This time they've upped the prize money to $120,000 for the winner.
So that's like, what, 10 grand US? Is that the exchange rate now?
So if Carl Larson, if he's the one that's putting this money forward and then taking it home each year, then I don't think it will stop.
I don't think they put the money forward. I think they bring the show, but that's about it. I don't think they put the money up.
Who puts the money up?
I think the high limit, isn't the high limiter kind of its own?
Yeah,
it's got its own thing.
Yeah, it is its own thing. But I don't
Cole
think they
Larson and his brother-in-law.
Yeah, Brad Sweet.
Yeah, Rico's in there as well as a part.
But I don't think they put the prize money up. Anyway,
who puts it up? Who's Cole Larson sponsored by?
I don't think it's them.
Well, he was.
You reckon it's the track? The track wouldn't have.
I heard that it was Cole Larson, but I don't know.
I am
my
not
sources.
surprised if part of it comes from, I could be wrong, City of Kwinana.
Oh, really?
I think we need to get some fact checks on this.
Yeah.
I think they are a
Think
major
of all the
sponsor
dental
of the
work
event.
they could be sponsoring.
Gosh. No, you better not.
City of
You don't need to get into it.
Oh, don't say that. Anyway, I don't know. So anyway, we should get Kevin on and ask. It's interesting. He did an interview on Sprint Hub. Did you see that interview he did on Sprint Hub? And I like the guys from Sprint Car Hub. They're great guys, but they sort of questioned him about the long-term viability of this event. And we 2 events in. I don't think that's a reasonable.
2 seasons, like 2 years into
well,
it.
it came under a lot of scrutiny. So, look, there are 2 different people in the speedway, not in the racing or the spectators. People that are in the kind of like what we do, right? And one group of them, really scrutinised the last event. So you had one group going, "We got 30,000 through the gate, and this is incredible, and this event's so big." And then the other group said, "Yeah, but 15,000 of those tickets were giveaways, so you didn't make a cent off 15,000 of those tickets." And that's where it became a bit of friction within the speedway community, because people said, "Well, you're not going to make your return off 15,000 tickets. You might off, 30,000. And then you start to question the validity of the event, because if you give 15,000 tickets away and you get lucky, those 15,000 people buy a ticket for their partner or whatever. Well, now, did you really bring 30,000 people to the event? You know what I mean?
I see it as like, I think Trent was actually watching that clip, and I came in the room when he was watching it, because it had like the track crew on the buggies, and he was like, "Oh, you can cut that out, or you can leave that in, or something." Yeah. Yes. And he was saying like, we're going to make it bigger or something. Had a comment like, "Oh, it's going to get bigger, or going to make it bigger." And I said to Trent, "How much bigger can they make it?"
Yeah, but I don't understand the line of questioning to start with. I just didn't think it was appropriate for at the end of an event that was so big,
so successful,
that just paid out $110,000 to the winner, and with the racing we saw.
And the amount of teams that come over for it, the amount, it's not just the spectator following. It is, you've got your American drivers coming over saying that, out of 4 of them that were being interviewed with their placement wheel thing that they did, 3 of them said that it was the best track that they've ever raced at. You've got all
but
your
they
East
say
Coast
that at every track, Michelle.
I don't know,
they say that at every track,
but it is a good track.
I didn't think it was appropriate line of questioning for an event that's.
But you don't know this. Like I said last year, I know for a fact that there was a lot of debate about, it was people calling out saying, "Listen, stop telling people that you got 30,000 through the gate, right? Just stop telling them that."
I never heard 30,000. I don't think the number was that.
That was the number, and that was the thing. People were going, "You need to stop telling them that, because eventually someone's going to say, yeah, but 15,000 of those were free tickets." And the debate actually had nothing to do with internal grief within the Speedway. It was someone comparing Speedway to the drags and the prize money difference. That's how it started, right? And then it stemmed from there because, they were saying, well, why don't you put up $100,000 for the drags? This is where the debate started. Yeah, and that's when the 30,000 number got thrown around. Then when the 30,000 number got thrown around, that's when it was like, you need to slow down with that because the real number's 15 because you gave away 15,000 tickets. And if you're prepared to give away 15,000 tickets, you might get 30,000 at any event because...
But is the number 15,000 or is it the amount of people that watched it on Flow Racing back in the US?
Well, but that's the thing. Who owns those rights? Does the Kwinana Motorplex
No, they
own
don't.
it?
But it's
and
you're missing.
And the thing is, right? Let's say the city of Kwinana put that money up. What
I
do they?
don't know.
No. But let's throw that out there as if that's what happened, right? What did they get out of that? Did they get a cut of the Flow Racing? Are those people that are watching the Flow Racing? I mean, in no disrespect, but I don't think Kwinana's a holiday destination. You know what I mean?
But it is a holiday destination.
Monkey Mia
it is a holiday destination for the guy out the back of Texas that's going to think, you know what, I might go to Perth next year and watch that race.
Well, I hope he's going to stay somewhere else.
No, but do you know what I mean?
Do you know what
These
I mean?
are all people.
I've stayed there.
You can make the same argument for the WWE as well. Like, how much did the government pay to get a WWE here and promote Perth? It's not about the people that went to the
listen,
arena.
Nick,
it's about the
Nick,
TV coverage.
I understand what you're saying, but promoting Perth City, I can get on board with that, right? Promoting Kwinana needs a bit of work.
Yeah, but it's
rough around the edges.
It's still eyes on our, whether you call it track, city, whatever it may be. That's
but that's not Kwinana's job to promote that.
No,
I don't think...
but it's not a But what I'm trying to say, it's not tangible.
I'll give you an example, right?
You're saying they gave away 15,000 free tickets, but you're looking at just the tickets and the people that were there. We've got to look at it much broader than that and say
if you're getting the money, if you're getting the revenue from Flow Racing, right? Then I can get on board with that as well.
Well, we don't know. I don't know.
So it is like Ravenswood. Okay, when Ravenswood Raceway was taken away from Mandurah, the mayor of Mandurah was very upset because she came forward and said, this brings over $1 million a year into Mandurah and I'll show you how. And it was hotel accommodations, fast food sales, petrol, it was all these things. She had like a book and she said, you're taking this money away from our town, okay? It's not the same here because Luch Monty's still going to fill his diesel up where he, the people are still going to stay at Burswood. It's not adding anything to Kwinana, right? If Kwinana City put money into that, it's a waste of money.
Well, I think we need to get some...
Even his dad was there. Who? Mick. Luch's dad was there as well.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like
I know what you're saying.
They'd have their drivers staying at Burswood or somewhere like that. The trucks are going back to the yard. You know what I mean? It's not the same as Ravenswood. It's not the same as Portland. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Willowbank, the Shire of Ipswich, they make money out of that.
Yeah.
What's Kwinana going to do?
I think we might need to do some fact checking before we get to
we need to get Gavin on
because
we can fact check with him.
I feel as if wouldn't there be some referencing to the city of Kwinana if they were in?
They were referenced at the track quite heavily as a major supporter and sponsor. While I was there.
How would you feel? Right, both of you, if you were representing Western Australia through Kwinana. So these people come from all over the world to this holiday destination, Kwinana Beach.
Yeah, but
that's where the track is.
I've been to NHRA rounds in America, and the whole town is just centred around that one NHRA event each year.
And they have a parade through the streets and like the
but
Texas...
you'll get the motel for $40 every other night, but when it's an NHRA weekend, it's up to $400.
Yep. But the Texas Stampede of Speed, Now, if that
but
was...
I think Texas Motorplex is a far, I'm talking like some real, if you're saying, do we want Kwinana to be our reference of Perth, then I'm saying, like, I've been to really small town events that are having these big NHRA events, and there's nothing that I would be travelling into that town for any other reason for.
Yeah, but when you get there to that town, everyone in that town is invested in that event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's cars parked. Like imagine if we had an ANDRA event in Kalgoorlie. Let's say there was a drag strip in Kalgoorlie, right? And we were under the old Malbully, system. You would get to, was it Paddy Hannon, right? And there'd be a row of funny cars parked there.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool
Hotel.
is that?
Yeah.
Right? Was Kwinana Hub, did they have sprint cars there? Was Kyle
which
Larson
makes me think,
sliding?
like, if they were more into it, why wouldn't they? If they were so invested into it, why wouldn't they do more
This
for
is
it
my
with the
point.
community?
I think I spoke about this last year as well.
Yep.
It was a golden opportunity that we missed last year, and we missed it again. I can't understand for the life of me why 888 doesn't send a car over here for this event and tie in and even get Shane Van Gisbergen, because at the end of the day he's 888, even though he doesn't race for them anymore. Get Shane Van Gisbergen over here, you get Kyle Larson in the car, they close off part of the streets of Perth, do some donuts. I said this last year, like tie in supercars with it, because Kyle Larson was looking at a wildcard entry for the Adelaide race. It didn't happen, didn't eventuate. But we missed that opportunity.
You know what I'd do?
We don't even... It's not even on the... it wasn't even on the news. It made me really upset that we've got the NASCAR reigning champion...
World champion.
...of NASCAR was here right in our back door, in our backyard, and it wasn't even on the news.
I'd get Shane to drive a sprint car. There you go. That's what I'd do.
But do you know what I mean?
They had Brody Kostecki in the infield on one of the nights, so the camera was on him every chance they got.
A
little bit of cross promotion.
Was he just here to check it out, or?
I think they interviewed him at one point, but he just seemed as with a guest. He was there with Gavin, was walking him around a bit. I just saw it on.
Wow.
This was when I was watching from home, and I was in between putting the girls to bed and stuff. But it just seemed like the camera was following him when there wasn't anything happening on track. They were just pointed at him. So, but a little bit of cross promotion, but we definitely need more of it.
Yeah. I think we can wind this one up, Michelle, because
Hang on, we haven't talked about the Formula One changes.
we can talk about, because there won't be any Formula One. Well, there's supercar changes, NASCAR changes, Formula One changes. And so there's heaps to talk about, but we'll get that in another episode before the season starts.
I really was looking forward to that. I spent all this time making notes.
Okay, we'll bring them again next.
That means it will be a long segment, Simon. So you've just sold us on saving it for next time. Or any up and coming events that we've got to speak of?
We've got the Northern Steel Car Show coming up on the 22nd of March, 2026. We'll be hosting that live from Perry Lakes.
We've got the ANDRA event at Sydney, and we've got the Willowbank
NDRC round 1 for sportsmen and round 1 for top alcohol. For the national
we didn't even talk about Zach Brown. I wanted to pay out on Zach Brown.
Oh, we can get to that. I think we did it. It was a nice drag racing sort of podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
completely.
It's our off season. We can fill it with drag racing.
Yeah, we do.
Was this bench racing or was this table racing?
Well, until next time, thanks very much, guys, and thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Simon.
See yous.